Well, actually, let's get into that real quick about what was your decision to move, because I know you said you and your husband had did your honeymoon there in Costa Rica, which
Mhm.
that sounded like a blast. But your
Mhm.
story took a powerful turn somewhere within that realm. Could you talk to us a little bit about that and your journey with that?
It started actually a little bit earlier than that. So in 2016, everything happened in 2016. We got married in July, but in April. So on my birthday, March 16th, I found a lump on my breast.
On your birthday? Oh, wow.
Uh-huh. And my 34th birthday. And then at the beginning of April, I was diagnosed with HER2 positive breast cancer, which is at the time was one of the most aggressive cancers known, most aggressive breast cancers known. And so I started treatment for that. I was prescribed 6 rounds of a really aggressive chemo. After the third round, I didn't think that I would live. And one night I told my husband, my daughter was in North Carolina with family, and I was sleeping on the couch because I had chemical heartburn, and it was so bad that I couldn't lay flat. So I was laying like sitting up, and I told my husband, I was like, "Hey, we need to have a conversation because I don't think I'm gonna make it through the morning." I was exhausted. He said, "If you wake up in the morning, can we quit chemo?" And I said, "Okay, if I wake up, we can quit chemo." So clearly, I woke up and we quit chemo to the complete horror of my medical team, right? But we wanted to choose a more naturopathic route. This would have happened maybe a month before our actual wedding. And I was working at University of St. Thomas at the time. And my boss then told me, because I had used up all of my sick time. I'm on FMLA at this point. I have no time left. And she says to me, do not cancel your wedding. Cancer has taken so much from you. She said, I'll handle it. Whatever, just go. So she said, go. I'll forever be grateful to that woman.
Wow.
So we go, and I tell my husband all the time, I want to do over because I was exhausted the whole time. Because, just because you quit chemo doesn't mean you're still not experiencing the side effects from having all of, especially after 3 rounds, right? And so we got married. It was great. We go on our honeymoon. We traveled to a few different places. I would say after about 1 week, I was able to do yoga. I woke up one morning and went on the balcony of our Airbnb and did yoga.
This is while you were in Costa Rica.
Yeah, that's on our honeymoon. And then I was able to do some hikes. And I was just feeling better. And we thought at first that it was just the distance between the last chemo and what we were doing. I was still taking, naps in the middle of the day, still not 100% me, but so much better than I was a week ago at that point. So we were in Costa Rica for a total of 3 weeks. I'm feeling great by the time we're leaving. I'm I am feeling great. And I'm like, yes, quitting chemo was the right decision. I get back to the United States within 10 days. I am not feeling great again. And then that's when we were like, oh, well, maybe it was something else. Now, we ate, okay, we ate all the foods while we were in Costa Rica, and we'd lost weight. And we were eating bread because one of our Airbnb hosts, she was a breast cancer survivor. And so she really took a liking to me. And it was breakfast was included, but she was feeding us breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I think she just wanted to take care of me. Her name was Juanita, and she was amazing. It was an older couple. They were in their 70s. And she was baking us bread every day. We had fresh baked bread and pancakes for breakfast, but big, huge salads for dinner. I mean, for lunch, and then like the typical Costa Rican meal for dinner. Um, but yeah, so that's what happened was that never left our brains is how good I felt while I was there when I was at my most medically vulnerable, like physically vulnerable, and the improvement that I showed while I was sick. And so when he brought up the conversation, Costa Rica was in the top three. We looked at a few places, and we ended up choosing Costa Rica because of one, our experience there, two, its proximity to the United States. We were living in Houston, so it was a direct flight from Houston, 3 hours nonstop. and it wasn't like an arm and a leg. And we both of our grandmothers were still living at the time. My grandmother is still living, but his has since passed. And we didn't want to be all the way in Ghana and get a call saying, you need to get home, and it takes us 48 to 72 hours to get home. So that was essentially why we chose Costa Rica.
Oh my goodness. What that is a hell of a story. I know you wrote a book and you have blogs and stuff like that, but they're going to be making like a Lifetime movie about it, right? Too, right? It,
Well, it's not Lifetime. It is a
I was just joking. You're being serious about this. Oh,
Oh, yeah, there's a film being made. We're actually pre-screening it here on August 9th in Costa Rica.
oh wow.
Yeah, and I wrote a memoir as a film companion. So the right now, I don't know if you ever heard of Black Everywhere?
I have not, no.
So Black Everywhere is a nonprofit organization. There's 20,000 members all across the United States and in a couple like London, maybe France. And they're getting ready to open a location in Costa Rica. Not a location, just open a chapter in Costa Rica. And it's basically just for Black people to find meetings where Black people meet up, basically. So Black Everywhere hosts these events. So they're launching in Costa Rica and hosting the pre-screening of the film. They're pre-screening it so we can get a litmus test to see how people like the film. And it's not like your info documentary. It's more like an artistic rendering. And I'm releasing my book on my sister's birthday, which is September 24th.